What's up everyone, welcome back to TV Box Top. On today's video, Ugoos has dropped a bombshell with this latest release of the Ugoos AM8 running on the latest Amlogic S928X Penta-Core hardware. Just wait till you see what they have done with this model. For those who don't like to watch long videos, I'll give you a teaser. You now have Dolby Vision triggering on your TV for self-hosted videos. So make sure and watch the video to the end to see all of the advancements they have made. So that begins right after this brief intro. So I'm back and let's get started. So in the box contains the new AM8 model, a Ugoos Bluetooth air mouse voice remote, a thick gauge high quality HDMI cable, a 12 volts 1.6 amps 20 watts DC power supply, a braided USB Type C to USB Type C cable for the power supply, its dual antennas, and a user manual. For design, Ugoos maintained their signature metal housing with its LED indicator at the top located at the center of the Ugoos logo. For I/O, with its new chipset, is powered by 12 volts via a USB Type C port. It has one HDMI 2.1 port, another USB Type C OTG port, 1 gigabit LAN, one optical audio, and one auxiliary port. On the side, it has 3 USB 3.0 ports and a micro SD card reader. On the opposite side, you have the connectors for its dual antennas. At the front, a single IR sensor, and to its base has 4 anti-skid rubber feet, a recovery button, a mask run button, and ventilation holes. On the inside, the PCB is cooled by a massive 3.5-inch heavy-duty heatsink, and get this, they also attach the heatsink to its metal body via a thermal pad for optimal cooling. Its onboard memory is maintained by a CR2032 lithium coin cell battery, and this model is the 4GB 32GB model. On startup, it features the standard Ugoos animation. Then you're presented with the option of 2 launchers. The first one is called Launcher Tree and is designed to be navigated with a direction pad as well as an air mouse pointer with long-click menu pop-ups and drag and drop shortcuts. The second launcher is called the Ugoos Launcher and it's more of a tile layout, mainly navigated with a direction pad with no drag and drop features. So for this entire review, I'll be using the Launcher Tree. So Launcher Tree is what you would call the perfect launcher for Android boxes because it resembles that of your mobile phone launcher and it features long-click menu pop-ups and drag and drop shortcuts if you are navigating with an air mouse remote or even a simple PC mouse. You can create multiple tabs and access them by sliding horizontally, and the most important feature of TV Box navigation is a navigation bar with access to the recent apps feature and a pull-down status bar at the top with full access to system controls and notifications. If I head over under the About section, it shows that it's running on Android 11. Here is the build information, and as usual, you tap rapidly on the build info to gain access to developer options. As mentioned, Ugoos boxes have the most unique firmware features and they didn't hold back in this model. So I'll just walk through all of them, but mind you, the list is long, so bear with me. So starting with its display, it provides 4K 2160p at 60Hz when connected to my 4K TV. However, it can produce 8K at 30Hz maximum. So they created a new section called Color, and the reason for doing this is to present their newest Dolby Vision display feature. Under HDR policy, you now have the option to select Dolby Vision Always On, HDR Display Always On, Adaptive HDR and Dolby Vision, and the option to totally disable and run in standard display. Under color mode, you have up to YCB CR 422 12-bit. And you now have an enhanced HDR to SDR feature to improve the color display on TVs that do not support HDR or if you are using the SDR only mode. Still under resolution, you now have another new feature called frame buffer size. What this does is that it changes the size of the UI to make it look sharper while at the same time maintaining its 4K resolution. Vertical displays are now popular with monitors that have horizontal and vertical swivel features. With its orientation features, you can change its display orientation to portrait mode, reverse portrait, and reverse landscape. A feature they also added, and it's one that frustrated users in the past, is the option to force the orientation to stay in whichever position you set it in, so apps are forced to open in landscape mode and not cropped in mobile aspect ratio. An option brought over from the Android core settings is the option to change the UI's font size and density. A much welcomed feature is auto frame rate switching. This comes in handy to keep audio and video in sync when switching movies on streaming applications so that the voice doesn't seem to be ahead or behind the video. For audio, it comes with options to switch between HDMI and optical audio, and it also has surround sound audio options. Under Inputs and Devices is where you'll find its HDMI CEC options. It comes with a button manager feature that uses keymapping to assign function to keyboard keys and gamepads. With its Bluetooth remote, there's a feature to assign special functions to the menu button. If you prefer to navigate your interface and play Android games with a mouse cursor, it comes with mouse pointer options to change the way it interacts with the UI, and there is also a unique feature that allows it to perform touchscreen functions when playing touchscreen games. And you have another new groundbreaking feature under the option labeled USB. Here you can control the speed of the USB ports, apply sleep mode, and under OTG is where you can enable USB debugging and the much welcomed and first time feature of USB file transfer when connected to your PC or laptop. This is the same feature you have with mobile phones when you connect them to your PC or laptop and you simply select file transfer. You now have it on the AM8 and it's a first for the industry. Under Panels and Interface, you have the option to enable or disable the navigation bar and status bar. You can change the position of the volume bar and you can also change its color. There is an option to change the layout of the Recent Apps feature from horizontal to horizontal with perspective. You can change the size and spacing between the panels and you can also change the color of the background. Its built-in hardware monitor feature has some new additions to monitor, such as HDMI audio mode and HDMI color mode. You have the option to change the launcher from the preloaded ones and whichever you installed from the Play Store. You can choose which voice input application you would like to use to perform a search. And you can change the speed of the UI's animation to make it snappier. Under Power, it now includes the option to control the behavior of the power LED. You can set it to respond to the CPU's activity. You can set it to respond to its power state. You can set it to respond to keystrokes, or you can disable the keystroke response feature. You have power key definition features, sleep timer features, and the option to max the CPU scale governor to clock the CPU to the highest speeds. Under Storage, you have client and Samba server features. This is for setting up the box on wireless or LAN networks such as NAS servers. So I hope you are not getting tired. Moving along, it has a root switch by way of the Magisk application. It comes in 54 various languages. And you can also access its default core Android settings. So as you can see, Ugoos placed a lot of research and development into this new model, and there is no other box on the market that comes even close to these features. So let's now get into the specs of this new chipset. So this chipset was manufactured by the Ugoos factory themselves, and this is the 4GB LPDDR4 RAM, 32GB internal storage model, and there is a soon to be released Pro model with 4GB, 64GB. The Bluetooth version used in this chipset is Bluetooth 5.3 BLE low energy technology, which is the new standard for Internet of Things for IoT applications, making it compatible with smart home devices and smart wearables. Its CPU is the latest Amlogic S928X-J 12nm HZA aluminum coated processor, and it's a Penta-Core model, which means it consists of 5 computing cores. A quad-core Cortex-A55 clocked at 2.0 GHz and a single-core Cortex-A76 clocked at 1.8 GHz with a max CPU clock speed of 2.0 GHz configured in 32-bit mode. I know this might be a bit of a disappointment for hardware enthusiasts, as we were all hoping that all new and upcoming chipsets were configured in 64-bit mode. This means it's restricted to only 32-bit apps and games. The GPU component of the SoC is the ARM Mali G57 7nm dual-core graphics processor with 128 KB to 256 KB L2 cache running up to 1.07 MHz. This GPU is ideal for gaming as it has Vulkan 1.1 and OpenGLES version 3.2 support. Its network adapter is the AP6276P Wi-Fi 6 dual-band 2.4 GHz, 5 GHz and 5.850 GHz, or what some are now calling 6G. I've already shown that it's running on Android 11 and currently it's not rooted, but not to worry as it comes with a root switch, and I'll show that to you in just a moment. Just to confirm, it has Vulkan API version 1.1 support. Under temperature, with its massive heatsink on a very hot day like today, right now it's 32 degrees Celsius outside and it idles around 46 degrees Celsius, and I'll monitor how high it increases during gaming to test the effectiveness of its heatsink. And for audio and video decoders, it comes with video decoders such as H.264, HEVC, AV1 and Dolby Vision for the playback of 4K and 8K Dolby Vision videos. For surround sound audio, it comes with EAC3 for Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital Plus, True HD and Dolby Surround. For DTS audio, there are no decoders, but I will test for it during the surround sound segment. And that's its system and hardware info. So the AM8 runs on the mobile version of Android with access to the Google Play Store and Play services. Even though you have full access to the Play Store, it's restricted to only 32-bit apps and games. If you are a user of movie streaming services such as Netflix and others, you should be aware that this box does not have the digital rights or license to run these applications in HD or 4K. Its DRM info shows that it only has Google Widevine Security Level 3 with no HDCP outgoing HDMI signal encryption to protect these services from piracy. You will be able to install and log in with your subscription, but the resolution will be restricted to basic 480p even if you have an HD account. So out of the box, it's not rooted, and if you would like root access, you simply head over to the settings area under the super user option and enable the Magisk switch. You will then be prompted to restart. Once you have restarted, you can then check again with your root checker app to confirm that it's rooted. For wireless screen mirroring, the included Mirrorcast application does not seem to work to cast your mobile devices. However, the AirScreen app works perfectly. Here I'm casting my mobile phone, but it's in standard quality only. Watching YouTube videos on the AM8 offers the best viewing experience. You can watch YouTube videos in as high as 4K 2160p at 60Hz with HDR on both the mobile version and the Android TV version. Also, if you check the stats for nerds information, you will see that videos are playing in full 2160p viewports and not cropped in a 1080p frame as in other models. During this video and in the following segments, I'll be using the built-in hardware monitor overlay to show its display quality formats and its audio output formats. This segment is where I'm most impressed as a TV box enthusiast, because for years we have been trying to get Dolby Vision from self-hosted videos and from streaming apps with no success. The Dolby Vision feature would only activate when you play movies from Netflix and other paid subscription services. Ugoos has finally done it, and we can now enjoy movies from our collections and streaming applications in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos simultaneously, and we can finally see the Dolby Vision feature activating on our TVs. This is a huge development for the TV box community, and Ugoos deserves a lot of credit for being the first to implement it in this model. I'll first play a standard 4K 60Hz HDR video sample. So that video played smoothly at 10-bit color space. Next is this 4K 60Hz AV1 HDR sample. So this one also plays okay, and it confirms that it can play the AV1 video format. So this is a 4K 60Hz Dolby Vision 12-bit video, and it triggers the Dolby Vision feature on this TV. Next is another Dolby Vision sample. This one contains both Dolby Vision 12-bit and Dolby Atmos EAC3 surround sound audio. This is an HDR10 Plus sample. And here's a 4K HDR HLG 10-bit video. So just when we thought Android boxes couldn't get any better, Ugoos did us one better with Dolby Vision confirming why they are the best in the industry. And moving on to its surround sound audio capabilities. So here it's connected to my 7.1 AV receiver, and equally as impressive as its video playback is its surround sound audio format processing capabilities. The AM8 can process and output every surround sound audio format, and these include Dolby Atmos, Dolby Digital Plus, Dolby Surround, Dolby True HD, DTS HD Master Audio, and the DTS-X. So I'll quickly run through each format and keep your eyes on the AV receiver that displays the format. So here it outputs Dolby Atmos.
This is Dolby Atmos, the world's first object-based cinematic audio.
Next, Dolby Digital Plus. For DTS users, here it outputs DTS HD Master Audio. This is a Dolby Vision video and it outputs Dolby Surround. Here it outputs Dolby True HD.
Next, we have the center channel. Over here is the right channel.
And finally, it produces DTS-X. So I recommend that if you are focused on the video formats such as Dolby Vision, that you use the MX player or its default movie player. If you are trying to achieve surround sound audio formats, especially DTS audio, then I recommend you use a VLC and remember to enable audio pass-through in its audio settings. It's now time to test the effectiveness of its massive heatsink and how cool it keeps the chipset during Android gaming. We also have a new GPU for graphics rendering, so let's take a look at its performance. This is Gear Club at 1080p 60 frames per second with smooth gameplay and temperatures holding steady at 61 degrees Celsius. This is Shadowgun Legends at 60 frames per second with a temperature of around 58 degrees Celsius.
Into the world of pain!
Cool. Watch out!
So the large heatsink definitely makes a difference, and at no time did I see the temperature cross 65 degrees. An issue I encountered with certain games such as Call of Duty Mobile and Free Fire, and even in benchmarking its GPU, is that sometimes it faces random crashes and at times it auto switches the frame rate and resolution to a lower quality even if the auto frame rate switching is turned off. And finally, a look at its benchmarks. First, a look at its RAM and internal storage. So firstly, it has an unusually high RAM copy speed of 17,802 megabytes per second. Its internal storage has a read speed of 203 megabytes per second and a write speed of 71 megabytes per second. I also connected an M.2 SSD via its Type C port, and it has a read speed of 23 megabytes per second and 39 megabytes per second read speed. Next, in testing its Wi-Fi 6 adapter and its gigabit LAN port based on my network of 154 megabits per second, the 5 GHz band and the gigabit LAN port achieved the maximum speed. The 2.4 GHz band averaged around 93 megabits per second. In benchmarking its Penta-Core CPU, the Geekbench 5 CPU benchmark generated a score of 418 single-core and 769 multi-core. In benchmarking its GPU, as mentioned a while ago, it crashes when I try to run the wildlife test, it halfway completes the Slingshot Extreme test, and it completes the Slingshot test, which is not the best reference test for its performance. So Ugoos would have to look into this issue and release a firmware update. And in the Antutu benchmark, it scored 227,726. So that's the last of the benchmarks. Let's now see where it places on my chart. So I've updated my chart and the new Ugoos AM8 ranks at position number 6, defeating all the Amlogic S928X models and the 3rd generation Amazon Fire TVQ also. I give it a 4 out of 5 star rating for its awesome performance, unique features and groundbreaking Dolby Vision capability. So if you would like to view this chart to compare its benchmarks and features to other top models in this list, I placed a link in the description. And for your convenience, I placed a link to the discounted purchase page right here, and you also have a link to this video right here. So see the link in the description. In summary, Ugoos has raised the bar once again with the inclusion of true Dolby Vision, new hardware, a massive heatsink delivering the lowest operating temperatures in its class, USB Type C port, 3 USB 3.0 ports, Wi-Fi 6 and the most unique firmware features. The only con I can identify with this model is that it's not certified to play Netflix in HD or 4K. So viewers, there you have it, the latest Android box from Ugoos, and I highly recommend it as the best Android box for 2023, running on the mobile version of Android with all the bells and whistles you can possibly imagine. So if you would like to get your hands on one at a discounted price, you can use the link provided in the description directly below this video. And as always, links in the description are my affiliate links, which means when you use them to purchase, I earn a commission for my review, and it also assists with the upkeep of this channel and attracting new and exciting sponsors for review. So thanks in advance for using my links to purchase. And as always, give this video the thumbs up to support this channel. It really goes a long way in helping with the search engine rankings. And to keep up with new and upcoming TV Box videos, click the subscribe button and give me a ring on that notifications bell to receive a notification when I release a new TV Box video or decide to do a giveaway. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to watch my video. Stay connected and see you in the next one.